Hello, this is James of Team Honest, and here we have Wallace with a very interesting deck profile for Aqua Force. Take it away.
Hey everybody, this is my Aqua Force deck. So, let's move everything over here to start off with. And we will start off with our grade 3s. The main grade 3 I like to play is Jockey of the Great Sea Skyros. Now, I like him especially for his Generation Break 1 skill, which is, I think, basically why anybody would actually play him. Basically, his Generation Break 1 is he protects front row rear guards from being targeted. So he gives the front row rear guards resist. His second skill is on ride, give a unit the ability to search for a grade 3 on, I believe, if I remember correctly, it's wave 3 or more. And that's it for the main grade 3. My backup grade 3 is Blue Wave Dragon Tidal, or Tetradrive Dragon. Reason I use Tetradrive is because I don't like to have just Generation Break cards in the deck. I like to be able to have a backup of Limit Break if necessary.
Really good against 7 Seas.
Yeah, especially 7 Seas, because against 7 Seas Rush, then Generation Break's pretty much useless. So a Limit Break will always be useful against that. And the fact that he can actually restand for a Counter Blast of 2 and a discard of 2 is just pretty perfect. Okay, moving on to grade 2s. Anybody who ever actually plays Aqua Force will most likely recognise this guy. This is Tidal Assault. So, obviously Tidal Assault, his only skill is to, after he attacks a Vanguard, rest himself, and he gets, restand himself, and he gets -5.
So it's good to make up the wave count.
Yeah, it's good to make up the wave count. Plus, if you have given extra power, say with a draw trigger or any sort of trigger, it can actually be really good. Next up is 4 High Tide Sniper. High Tide Sniper is a really good unit. The fact that all he needs is a Soul Blast of 1 on wave 3 or more to get plus 10k is just a fantastic card, and I think pretty much any Aqua Force deck I've seen runs him.
Yeah, either 3 or 4.
Yeah. And finally, my grade 2s are 3 Battle Siren Adelaide. You'll probably wonder why I use Adelaide, because Adelaide's a Thavas support card. You'll see later that I actually run 6 Thavas cards in my G deck, so she will pretty much always get her effect off. And the fact that her effect is basically any wave Counter Blast 1, Soul Blast 1 to give her 2k and then restand her after she attacks is pretty much the reason why I run her. She's just that good. Next up, grade 1s. Pretty standard play set of Ocean Keeper Plato, G-Flip Perfect Guard. Basically, obviously he's used for counter charging, and I tend to have not too much trouble with my counter blast in this deck, but on the odd occasion it does actually help. Now, playset of Stridefighter. It's pretty much pretty much explains what it is.
Yeah, only for the second skill.
Yeah, only for the second skill because I don't actually run grade 3 Fabs. Next up, I run 3 Battle Siren Stacia. Stacia is extremely good because of her Generation Break 1 skill. She can attack from the rear guard, and whenever you attack, she gains plus 3k. So she's a grade 1 9k swinger from the rear guard.
Good for interceptors.
Yeah, so it's just a brilliant card just to add to the waves. And finally, for grade 1s, I run 3 Battle Siren Melania. Battle Siren Melania is extremely good if you're using the first drive, which you'll see later, that I use, which is Storm Dominator Commander Thalos. So whenever she swings, you can, I think it's wave 3. Wave 3 or greater, grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Salvance Carnium, and it's wave 3rd time or more. I get to Counter Blast 1, give it 5k, and draw a card. Obviously, because it's Thalos support, it will most of the time work for me, but there are times where it doesn't, which isn't that often. But it is still an amazing card to use. Next up is my trigger lineup. Start off with 4 of Company Rider Terrace, which is the Thalos Special Crit. And it also does the same thing as pretty much every other Special Crit does. End of Soul 5k if you have a Thalos Van card and draw a card.
Also make numbers.
Yeah. I also run 4 Supersonic Sailor. Basically, act into soul, put it into soul, countercharge 1. So it's again useful if I have, say, very limited damage and they're all counterblasted. So it helps a lot. Next up, I play 4 Battle Siren Malika. Draw a card. So in previous versions of this deck, I had problems with the amount of cards in my hand, so I decided to run Draw Trigger. So I was able to get a hold of playset of Marika, which has the ability to act on rear guard, put it in soul, give something plus 3k. So it's a very useful card, and it has helped me win matches where I wouldn't have won them if I had not had draw triggers in the deck.
And helps with like sort of High Tide Sniper and other Soul
It
Bastions.
does, yeah, it does. Finally, I play 4 Medical Officer of the Rainbow Elixir, Heal Trigger. The reason why I play her over, say, the new, I think it's double rare.
The Fighters Collection one?
Yeah, the Fighters Collection Heal Trigger with the effect, is I don't really like the effect of the Heal Trigger. Plus, I just love the artwork of this more.
Yeah.
And finally, my starter is Officer Cadet Eric, which I have found in this deck is actually, at times it can be very necessary, but at times it's actually redundant because I can draw grade 3s all the time. So a grade 3 searcher is pretty much always useful.
Keeps consistency.
Yeah. Okay, moving on to the G deck. My normal first stride is going to be Storm Dominator Commander Thalos. His skill for what he does is just amazing. Normally you won't get the Generation Break 3 skill, so I normally just play him for the Generation Break 2, or sorry, for the first skill. which is flip a copy of him and give one of your units plus 5k and the ability to attack from the rear guard. So, like I said with Melania previously, I can end up attacking with Melania for 17k, counterblast 1, draw a card.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it flips gets me to Generation Break 2 on first stride. Next up, I actually play 4 Storm of the Mount Wheeling Sabbath. Frankly, this is probably the ace stride in my deck. It's just that good.
A whole lot of pressure.
Yeah, huge amounts of pressure. Both its effects are amazing. The fact that you can, for the amount of rearguard attacks you have, you can give it plus 5k for each, and you have the ability to counterblast to with third time or more. When it attacks, you may pay the cost of you until end of that battle. This unit gets plus 5k for each battle that a rear guard attacked during this turn, and your opponent cannot call grade 1 or greater from hand. And it's Generation Break 3 skill, which is the first skill, is just amazing. For every rear guard that attack this turn, you get to retire one of your opponent's cards. So it's just basically the ace stride in my deck, and if I don't go into this, then there's something very wrong with.
So you're either killing them with that, or you're wiping the board, which makes you win, in essence.
With him, I'm always putting pressure on. I also play 4 of Marine General of Holy Silk Lambos. Lambos is just an epically good card. He has basically no cost. The only cost for him is getting to wave. Getting to
wave 4.
Wave 4 or more.
It's wave 4 or more. Before wave was a thing.
Yeah, before wave was an actual thing. To restand 2 of my rear guards, get them plus 10k.
He's been killing people since GBTO 2 or 3.
I think it's 2. It is 2, yeah.
Long time.
2. A long time. My final stride is the Blue Swirl Martial Dragon, Last Twister Dragon, which is the GB8. For him, I don't actually normally get to go into him, but he's very good. He's actually got, his skill is actually very good, because it's sort of like, I don't know, maybe Gold Paladin, where you get to look at a certain amount of cards on the top of your deck and call one, and it gets, let's see, what's it get? Let's see, we have sight into 4th time. When your rear guard attacks this unit, gets plus 5k at the end of the battle. At the end of this battle, look at 4 cards on the top of your deck, call a card from one with the rear guard and that unit, and the unit that attacked, and if it called the unit has a wave ability, it gets another 5k. So it's an extremely good card, and the fact that I think just over half of my deck is the wave ability makes it pretty much a card that can, well, pretty much always go off. Next up, my G guards. I use 1 Guard Leader of the Sky Warrior Flotilla, which is the G guard that first wave and second wave give it plus 5k.
Your basic G guard.
Yeah, it's your basic G guard, so it's there if you need it. I also play 2 Blue Storm Deterrence Dragon Ice Barrier Dragon, which is first wave or 4th wave, give it plus 10k. Which is actually slightly annoying, because most of my opponents don't actually end up getting to a 4th wave. They normally just end up getting to a 3rd.
So that 2nd and 3rd is...
Yeah. the fact there's that little gap in between the flotilla and him makes it a little bit more difficult to choose what to guard.
Yeah.
Finally, I used 2 of Guardleader Sky and Water Eons, which is the flip G guard. It's just extremely good. You counterblast 1, generation break 1. Choose a card from a G zone. Turn it face up. When this unit is placed on guard strict and pay the cost of the choose up to 5 rear guards at the end of the turn they get. Continues this and continuous rear guard. This unit cannot be hit, and this unit gets plus 5k for each unit chosen.
So it can get big.
It can get very, very big. This basically stands in for the fact that there's no wave 3. So there's not much else to say about it. It's just a really good card.
I noticed with the G deck, you're playing the Blue Wave Grade 3, but I didn't see any of the Grade 4's Blue Wave strides. Can you tell me why that is?
Yeah, I don't see any real point in actually running the Blue Wave strides.
Tetra Boil, I believe.
Yeah, Tetra Boil. Literally because all the strides I currently have are actually stronger. Because it's an iffy card. I did actually used to play Blue Wave, and I liked it in Blue Wave, but the fact that my main card, my main grade 3 isn't Blue Wave, and the fact that it doesn't really matter too much, it just means that I find it actually better just not running it. There's no space in the deck for it.
That's very interesting. Any last thoughts for the deck?
There are small improvements I could make, but it's difficult to actually find space to make them. I actually can't wait to see what the new Aquaforce support is whenever it comes out, because it will end up giving me a lot of problems as to what to leave in the deck and what to actually take out.
Well, thank you very much for that very interesting deck profile. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe, and check us out on Facebook. Thank you.